Behind me is the Mediterranean Sea, or what Scripture refers to as the Great Sea, to contrast against the much smaller Sea of Galilee. It was one of the most important trade routes to the Western world, again contrasting with the trade routes to the east that went around the Fertile Crescent. The sea was important during the Roman era as well, offering ways for people and goods to reach Israel and then the Far East. Obviously, even the road that followed the coastline was known as the Via Maris, or the Way of the Sea. And the ancient port of Joppa, which is just south of where I am today, is where even King Hiram of Tyre floated timbers down to help Solomon build the temple. Herod later built another port city just north of Tel Aviv, known as Caesarea Maritime, which would allow goods and peoples to reach a deepwater port right here on the coast of Israel. In recent years, people have been coming by way of the sea, oftentimes flying through the air instead of slicing through the waves. Thousands and thousands of Jewish people have returned to their ancient homeland, leaving the only homes they've known in Europe and other parts of the world. In more recent times, of course, hundreds of thousands of Christians have also come to this part of the world. In the late 1800s, even Mark Twain came by steamship instead of by air. Throughout Scripture, the sea has represented the great other, in other words, the Gentile world, contrasting with the land of Israel, representing the Jewish people. And that's why even the influences coming from across the sea, first Greece and later Rome, were considered to be negative influences here in this land. Scripture also talks about the fact that the Antichrist will rise up out of the sea, referring to the Gentile nations, we believe, and at some point he will stand on the seashore and the false prophet will rise up out of the land. We believe that that means the false prophet will have Jewish roots, and he and the Antichrist obviously will bring great persecution on the Jewish people. The view here is certainly beautiful, but in Israel, everything means something. And so even this view of a peaceful scene of the Mediterranean Sea has great significance in history and portends prophecies still to be fulfilled here in Eretz Yisrael, the promised land of Israel.